So you want to play along to some Pink Floyd tracks. You've got yourself a practice amp, a guitar, and some cheap stomp boxes. And your mum has kindly let you watch one video before bed. You come to the right place, but make sure you watch the video to the end so that you learn everything. Not literally everything, everything about David Gilmour, not everything about him, everything about his guitar sound. Let's go.
Guitar man, guitar man, guitar, guitar, guitar man, man, man.
Now, David Gilmour is one of those guitar players who's influenced basically every guitar player ever, which is actually a point against him because guitar players are actually a pretty annoying type of person. But he's an extremely tasteful guitar player with his own sound, which is why he deserves his own special episode of Guitar Man.
Guitar man.
He's got a pretty interesting backstory as well, because he wasn't actually even an original member of the band. Instead, the Floyd's frontman was called Syd Barrett, and he had a completely different style going on. Unfortunately, the band only had one album released before Barrett's acid habit caused him to completely lose his marbles. So Gilmour joined the band, and after Barrett's marbles were nowhere to be found, Barrett left the band. The Floyd now had to reinvent their style and adapt to the new situation. Gilmour took on most of the music writing, and Roger Waters took on most of the lyric writing. The two would remain lifelong friends. After a number of particularly experimental albums, the band finally found some success with this album called Dark Side of the Moon. You might have heard of it or seen merch somewhere, pictures of it on. David Gilmour represents something to me that's incredibly valuable. He didn't just continue what Barrett started. He joined a broken band, he put his own hard work and his own mojo and personality into the band, and he transformed it into something completely different. The circumstances were hard, chemistry wasn't immediately there, the journey was long, but at the end of the day, we got Wish You Were Here, we got Comfortably Numb, we got The Gnome. Hang on a minute, I think that's a Barrett song.
A blue-green hood, it looked quite good.
We got Shine On You Crazy Diamond, we got Mother. Anyways, fasten your black polo shirts, let's get into the video. Now, the Fender Strat is quite literally David Gilmour's signature model. And if you don't own one, that's fine, because everybody and their mother seems to have a knockoff version of this thing. And after a brief search on the internet, I could find a Strat that would deliver to me for only £115. That's the price of 383 Freddos, adjusted for inflation. The Strat isn't the only model that Gilmour plays, however. Parts of Animals were recorded with a Telecaster, and parts from The Wall were recorded with a Les Paul. The only thing that's actually important is that it's black to fit in with the band's strict dress code. Oh, Hello. As for pickups, most of the time you're going to be wanting to use the bridge pickup only, just for that sharp, ear-piercing guitar tone. As for your amplifier, you're going to want a moderate boost on the mids, nothing too ridiculous, maybe take off some of the top end, it starts to get a little bit, just slightly deafening. So we need to talk about effects now, because without them, you'll be an ineffective guitar player, as your playing won't have an effect on your audience. But if you pay attention to these tips, your guitar playing will be effective emotionally, and then you'll be an effective guitar player like David Gilmour. So the next thing you're going to want to do is apply some distortion to your sound. I'm using a distortion pedal with the distortion dial all the way up. But Gilmour has used fuzz pedals, he's used distortion pedals, he's used overdrive. So whatever you have, give it a go, adjust it, crank that distortion up as much as you can. I was looking forward to trying both distortion and overdrive together when this horrible sound came out of my amplifier. It's not really reminding me of that iconic David Gilmour tone, is it? When one of the most iconic British bands went to Abbey Road Studio to record their nominal album, I don't think. You get the picture. So it turns out the Strat's pickups are quite sensitive when a lot of distortion is applied. So if you're using a Strat, just be mindful of that. Next thing you're going to want to do is add a delay pedal. Set the speed dial to 8th notes at the speed of the song you're trying to play. In some Pink Floyd songs there seem to be as many as 7 repeats. In others there aren't any at all, so it's kind of up to you. I usually go with about 2 or 3, I think that sounds best. And so now it's time for the special ingredient that every psychedelic band uses, the reverb pedal. I recommend you turn the dial anywhere between about 10 o'clock and 1 o'clock for the right amount of Pink Floyd-esque reverb. So with the steps we've taken so far, you should be sounding far more Pink Floyd-esque, and hopefully that's enough motivation for you to immediately subscribe. But if not, there's more. There's another effect that I want to talk about which often complements most Pink Floyd-inspired guitar sounds. Historically it was used on songs like Breathe and Any Colour You Like. It was incredible sounding, the only thing is it was big and expensive. It was called the Univibe, and way back in the 1970s you'd have to pair this effect with a rotating speaker cabinet called the Leslie. Finding and rotating a person called Leslie wouldn't do the trick. You'd actually have to go and find one of these things, buy it and transport it. Price nowadays at around £3,000, you could get yourself 12,000 classic Freddos for the same price as an original Univibe. Clearly it's not worth it. But one of the amazing things about being a guitar player in the year 2022 is the vast variety of gear we have that can accurately replicate this older gear that our ancestors used to use. I was pretty impressed when I managed to go on the internet and find a pedal that can accurately recreate the sound of a Vibe and Leslie for only £60. That's the price of 240 Freddos. An absolute bargain. The pedal I got is called the Viscous Vibe by TC Electro-Harmonix, but there's lots of other options out there. So maybe if you're interested in getting some of that Univibe and Leslie sound, go on the internet, shop around, have fun, play guitar, subscribe to my channel, watch all my videos, play a bit more guitar. Thank you for watching, and if you did enjoy my content, please check out some of my other videos, subscribe to the channel, comment, tell me how much you liked or hated this video, I'd love to hear from you. Unless you're a bot, in which case I don't want to hear from you. And I'll see you next time.